This is Kat Kerr. She is a prophet of Trump, basically. She's part of like the Trump religion, effectively. And she claims that she's in communication with Donald Trump and that Trump believed something was going to happen the day of the assassination attempt, where, the bullet hit his ear, allegedly. She says that he texted her afraid and she told him that God would protect him. Just listen to this.
20 minutes before he was shot in Pennsylvania, he texted me on the platform and said, I need to know if there's anything else I need to know. He meant from God to share with the people. And God had me tell him. I texted it back to him because he was texting me. I said, God said, no matter what happens today, no matter what happens, don't let fear interfere in your life. Don't let it put fear in you. You keep going forward. You're not going to die. He was told all this by God. I have your back.
Trump was told all of this by God through Kat Kerr, of course.
So no matter what it is, fear not. You're going to finish your races and you're going to win. So you have to keep going forward. And so that's why when he was shot, he wasn't afraid because he had that word from God.
Dude, this is just embarrassing. You know what's even more embarrassing than that? I don't think she's telling the truth about speaking directly to Trump like that, but it wouldn't come as a massive surprise to find out that she actually was speaking to Trump. Before we get into it, though, just listen to this next clip from her. By the way, both of these clips are from around October, November 2024, after the election for this last one, I believe.
I know that Trump has heard me tell him, I have told him what was going to happen, basically what was going to happen the day he was shot, when he texted me from the platform 20 minutes before that time. And God told him, whatever happens today, don't be worried about it. I got your back. Don't let fear interfere. Do not fear in any way whatsoever from what's going to happen today. You have to keep going forward because you're going to get accelerated. You are going to be president. He didn't say how that would happen, but he said, you will be president.
Right, because she claimed that Trump was going to win in 2020. I'm sorry, let me rephrase. She didn't claim that. She claimed that God told her that Trump is going to be president in 2020. It's a prophetic statement that she made.
Not again, because you are right now. Yeah. I keep telling him that all the time. You are number 46. There's no question. All of heaven knows you're 46.
Well, and there were times when we held back on saying that, but the last few months you haven't held back, and I haven't held back.
No, I haven't.
The president, he's the president in every way, in heaven's viewpoint, but probably in every legal way too. I don't know how it looks on paper.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, so this is before the election. These people cannot accept reality. Yeah, he won a second term in 2024, but this is before that, and they could not accept that Trump was not the president. Did you notice how quickly they accepted election results, though, in 2024? The moment it looked like it was going their way, suddenly, there's no more election fraud. They just accept it. Get a grip, people. Seriously, this is a problem.
All I know is that he's the president, and if anyone's carrying the nuclear football, that they have to.
Oh my God, they think that Trump is the one that makes calls about like the nuclear weaponry that we have? Are you serious? I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, let's continue.
Carry it around. It's not going to be the resident of the White House with either Kamala or Biden. Trust me, they don't have access.
Trust him, he knows.
To the nuclear football, but.
Oh my God, dude. If you don't know the nuclear football, it's the Presidential Emergency Satchel. It's a briefcase, the contents of which are to be used by the President of the United States to communicate and authorize a nuclear attack while away from fixed command centers, such as the White House Situation Room or the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. Functioning as a mobile hub in the strategic defense system of the U.S., the football is carried by a military aide when the president is traveling. Wow, that is scary shit right there. Honestly, you know what I would do? If I were president, I would denuclearize 100%, entirely. I would bring it all the way down to one nuke, and I would tell Russia, I want you to also, and when you bring it down to one nuke, I will get rid of mine, and then you will get rid of yours. We'll do it together. I desperately want to get rid of nuclear weapons. If nukes actually do launch, then we're all going to die. Everybody's going to die. Every person on planet Earth. I don't know why we have those things. They shouldn't exist. Anyway, Trump does not have the nuclear football. Like I said, though, it's not as crazy as it might seem at face value to think that she knows Donald Trump. She speaks to him on a regular basis. Just listen to what Julie Green here has to say. This is Julie Green speaking to Eric Trump. Julie Green is a supposed prophet of Trump, roughly equal in stature and status and influence to Kat Kerr, give or take.
Is thank you for also standing up, and thank you for standing up for, the Lord and Christianity and just religious freedom in general. I mean,
she's standing up for religious freedom. Are you shitting me?
Something that is massively attacked right now, and it's something that I'm actually pretty convinced I'm going to get hit for saying this, but coming out of Obama, where we were losing massive amounts of religious liberty in this country. I mean, massive.
What religious liberty were we losing under Obama? What are you talking about?
Amounts. You could hardly say Merry Christmas without being shunned, because you might offend somebody who wasn't
true. No, it's not true. What are you talking about? That was never true. You were never shamed out of saying Merry Christmas. You weren't banned from it. Nobody was ever banned from it. But, for the record, there are multiple holidays around that time. There's New Year's Eve and there's Christmas. So, we are celebrating holidays. It is happy holidays, even for full-blown Christians. This war on Christmas shit drives me up a wall, man. Seriously. There is not a war on Christmas. There was never a war on Christmas.
Christian or believe. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not sure if organized religion would not be what it is right now if it wasn't for Donald Trump. And he made.
How did Donald Trump help organized religion exactly?
A lot of people are, well, is he a religious guy? Yeah, he's a religious guy. And he might not have worn it on.
I don't believe that for a second. I'm sorry. I think he's our first atheist president, truthfully.
People are, well, is he a religious guy? Yeah, he's a religious guy. And he might not have worn it on his shirt sleeve the way that certain politicians do, oftentimes, unfortunately. And this again sounds terrible, but for votes. There's probably no one that's done more for religious freedom than him. And
that is an absolutely wild thing to say. Donald Trump did more for religious freedom than anybody else. I would have gone with Jesus as the top person to kind of further religious goals and whatever else. Jesus is maybe the most important person in religion, but okay, Donald Trump, I suppose, is an option one could choose. Yeah, check this one out. This is another clip with Julie Green. Again, that Donald Trump and his campaign and his family members and everyone else, they have all been reaching out to these public influencers wisely, intelligently, reaching out to people like me or like Julie Green, the Elijah lists. What the hell is his name? Steve Schultz. They've been reaching out to them because they recognize how much influence they have. So, Trump probably doesn't speak to Kat Kerr, certainly not on a regular basis. And she's certainly not telling him, he's certainly not lamenting to her that he fears he might be attacked or something. But it isn't as crazy as it seems at face value.
Because I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, every single morning. I say the Pledge of Allegiance to my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old. In fact, they say them now, and they do so beautifully. And then I say the Lord's Prayer, and I say 2 other little family prayers that we have. And then I make them say something that's meaningful to them. I do this every single night at 7:45, no matter where I am in the world. If I can't be there, I'm doing it on FaceTime with my wife and kids. They see my and honestly, guys, that's how I live a clean, positive life.
Do we believe him? Are we thinking that this is real? Is he a true believer? I think it's interesting that he said that he has family prayers. That's something that people wouldn't really know about unless they were deeply involved in some denomination of Christianity, right? It seems to me. I don't know. It's hard to know if he's completely full of shit. But I'm leaning toward he's full of shit, I think. Check this one out. Julie Green again with Eric Trump.
And so this was right after. I've heard so many on your dad. I could be here all day, but he had one on you. And so the Lord said, Eric Trump, he said, my son, I know that there are many things you don't understand when it comes to the works of my hand. I will show you and give you great revelations of who I am. Trust in me even when you don't see. I am moving, I am delivering, I am restoring all that has been stolen and all that has appeared to be lost. I will not fail you. I will not fail your father, and I will not fail this nation, saith the Lord of hosts. So that was
Julian, I can't tell you how much I believe. First of all, thank you, and I can't tell you how much I believe it.
You can't tell her how much you believe it.
There are interesting things that happen, and you're sitting there sometimes at night, and you're almost in a daze. And believe me, I've had plenty of those days. I can't tell you how many arrows we've taken as family in the back from every angle, from angles you never thought
Taking it in the back as a family. What does that mean?
could have existed. And then something happens the next day, and something kind of magical happens that totally kind of counteracts that. And if that happened once or twice or 3 times or 4 times, you'd say, okay, it could be nice kind of coincidence. It's happened too many times that it's probably beyond coincidental at this point, and I fully believe it. I'm a
What is beyond coincidence exactly? Like, what is he talking about?
incredibly spiritual person, and I believe it in ways that maybe you can't even imagine. And there has been somebody watching over this journey. There's just no question about it.
Okay. I mean, it feels like he's trying a little hard to convince everybody that he believes in all this, right? Is he for real? Either way, these people are extremely influential with the Trump family. They're influential in the political realm to a degree that people underestimate a lot of the time. Like, Kat Kerr is way more influential than me, like by a mile and a half. Hell, maybe more influential than anybody in the atheist community at all. She's just very, very well known and trusted as a prophet of Trump. I mean, it's insane. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Is Eric Trump a true believer, is my question. Is he real?